Sit down, please do. I'm not going to be long here. This is about you. Understand this as we look at our veterans up here. There have always been people who felt they had a right to rule over somebody else. Be it politically or otherwise, evil men have tried to take free men and bind them. No matter whose idea it might have been, in order to stop evil, this is who paid the price. Some political leader, good, bad, whatever, felt oppression had to be stopped. And young people gave their lives and offered their lives on the altar of somebody else's freedom. You know, soldiers, and I use the term generically, and I apologize for not being military, but our military, they go serve as free people to keep other people free. No matter what idea or whose idea it was young people who put on a uniform who led the way of freedom. When our military left Europe after World War I and World War II, we left a very few bases intact, but we left the land to the citizens. And these represent the many who were over in Europe who came home and they didn't bring anything with them. Some of them might have brought a wife with them. I guess that happened on occasion. But that's a compliment, not a criticism. When we buried countless bodies across the Pacific, we laid no claim to their islands. I've been at the resort area in Baguio, Philippines, where the military was based and built the most beautiful facilities. And when our troops left, they left it to the Filipino people. Thousands who died on the islands lay silent with a memorial to their selfless sacrifice that others might be free. The thousands who have died since 9/11 in the Middle East did not die so we could rob people and have free oil. In case you didn't notice, gas is still expensive in America. These who went to the Middle East went on behalf of someone else's freedom. Now, whether it was the right way done or the right way handled is irrelevant. They didn't go to get rich. None of you got rich in your military wages, I'm assuming. We left their cities. For better or for worse, we left their cities. Our soldiers left with a few less friends, not a few wounds, and no more pay or retirement than had they stayed in the States. I love America. With all of her ills, I love America. I love America for her foreign graves. I love her for the lost friends and the lost peace of mind in the nights when dreams return. Understand that with the lives these represent, we could have owned Germany, France, Japan, Philippines, North Africa, and most of the Middle East. We could have had a kingdom like England where the sun never set on the American kingdom. And yet, we left our dead. And we did what we thought was right, trying to allow other folks the right to be free. Right or wrong, these soldiers, airmen, Marines, our military, they didn't go as mercenaries. They didn't go to get rich. They went as servants. They didn't go as looters, but as a representative of a free nation wishing others to enjoy the freedom we enjoy today. I can't say our political leaders always made the right decision. Of course, these would agree. Every soldier and every person in the military didn't always make the right call at the right moment, but they went with the right goal. And they came home with the same 50 states we started with. We didn't gain any ground. I think about the things that we're accused of. We do it for gain, and I wonder, what gain is there? We gave our best. Our military is criticized by reporters whose freedom of the press was purchased by these who they criticize. We offer our young and our finest not on the altar of great gain, but on the altar of hopes for another. These this morning represent those countless thousands who went out and left the city and left the nation where our flag does not fly. Our flag is hated and defiled by our enemies, even on our own American soil. But those people don't realize that it's these soldiers that they demonize who give them the right to hate the very flag that they deface. The world does not understand freedom. Understand this, as Americans, the world doesn't understand this group of people in front of you. The world cannot understand giving without desire for recompense. See, blind people cannot believe that these have no agenda. You ask them. They left at 17, 18, 19 years old and went everywhere and did everything imaginable, and not one of them thought of, what am I going to get out of this? None of them. By the way, our politicians and reporters can't understand that, and they malign our military because they don't have what's inside this group of people you're looking at this morning. The American military is not perfect, but it epitomized selflessness and self-sacrifice. Liberal, anti-American, anti-military politicians cannot believe that we simply want others to be free. For their greedy soul could not imagine putting on a uniform and risking their life without hope of personal gain. Sure, our soldiers gained some things in battle. They gained prosthetic limbs. They gained the memories of friends that they'll never see again dying at their side. What did we greedily gain through our Gold Star mothers, our Purple Hearts, and depressed souls? We gained, I know, of one piece of property we gained. It was 152 acres I walked through. Incredibly manicured, one of the most beautiful places in all the South Pacific, just outside Manila, where over 17,000 graves mark the dead Americans who gave their lives, and when all their friends came home, the only piece of ground we kept in the Philippines was that 152 acres to bury our dead. Gain, yes, we gained. There's 90 acres in Belgium, my wife and I walked through, where 5,323 American military are buried from the Battle of the Bulge. That's what we gained. These didn't come home rich from their military service. They left people a chance to be rich. Rich with freedom, rich with opportunity. What did we gain? The liberal accuses us of doing what we do for gain. What did we gain? Yeah, we gained some things. We gained carefully folded flags, received from the glove-clad hand of a kneeling officer as he says to a wife or a mother, on behalf of the President of the United States and a grateful nation, we present you this flag. That's what we gained. We gained the knock on the door. As officers dressed in their finest uniform came to deliver a letter to the door of grieving parents about their deceased son or daughter. Yes, critics can criticize our soldiers for what they gained, but what they did gain is the pride of serving selflessly, something that a selfish, political agenda liberal would never know. We gained the privilege of investing years in PT and study and sleeping who knows where, eating who knows what, while others spent those same years in college at the feet of liberal professors who criticized these who fought to give them the right to teach in our universities and eat up our taxpayer money, and many times the wage of the soldier who earned them that right. Personal gain? No, that's not why they did it. One of my friends, Don Bull, many of you know him. Don Bull was decorated more than most anybody knows, as was mentioned earlier. These folks didn't come home bragging about their decorations. When Don retired from the Marine Corps, they had a great presentation planned for him in Camp Pendleton. Don didn't want to go, so because he wouldn't go, I was there in my office. He asked, could a couple of people come by and give me something in your office, Pastor? I said, sure. And a van load, I was shocked. I mean, a van piled out with a crowd of the most brilliantly dressed Marines, crowded into my little tiny office and stood there by Don. They pinned on medals and read things and pinned on more medals and read more things of his faithful, valiant service. Nobody was there. That was done publicly. There were 2 or 3 of us in my office with a dozen Marines delivering what he had earned through his faithful service. Gain? No, they didn't do it for what they gained. Real soldiers don't do it for honor or for political leverage, for future influence. They simply do it because it needed to be done. We look today at people who stepped up and did what needed to be done because it needed to be done, and that's all they did it for. Because if they did it for money, that was really a dumb choice. We just say thank you today for doing what needed to be done because somebody had to do it. We give them all a hand.